If your penis no longer gets hard like it used to, if your energy feels drained, if you find yourself pulling away from intimacy, not because you want to, but because your body just isn't responding, then listen carefully. This may not be the result of aging. It could be something far simpler and far more fixable, a lack of 3 key vitamins your body is quietly craving. I'm Dr. Girag Mihai, a men's health specialist with more than 2 decades of experience helping men over 60 restore the energy, vitality, and sexual confidence they thought was lost forever. Here's something most doctors never tell you. Many older men don't lack desire. They lack circulation, stamina, and hormonal support. And in most cases, the solution doesn't begin at the pharmacy. It starts in your kitchen. Today, I'll show you exactly which 3 vitamins every man over 60 should take, and how they can help bring back natural erections, boost testosterone, and reignite your energy. Stick with me, because in just a moment, I'll also reveal the single most dangerous mistake men make when taking these vitamins, and how you can avoid it starting tonight. Before we dive in, be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another vital health tip designed specifically for men over 60. And if this message resonates with you, type 1 in the comments. If it doesn't, type 0. And tell me how I can make this content even more helpful for you. All right, let's get right into it. We'll start with the first and most often overlooked key to restoring blood flow and natural erections in men over 60. It's something your body once made effortlessly, especially when you spent time in the sun. But as you age, levels drop sharply, and so does your circulation, energy, and performance. I'm talking about vitamin D, often called the sunshine vitamin. But for you, it may just be the foundation for reclaiming your strength and confidence. Here's why. I still remember sitting across from a 67-year-old man named Paul. He was sharp, thoughtful, and deeply frustrated. "Doc," he said, "I still want to be close to my wife, but my body just won't cooperate anymore." That quiet confession is one I've heard from hundreds of men through the years. And more often than not, the first step to getting that spark back isn't a miracle drug. It's vitamin D. Vitamin D is one of the most underrated nutrients when it comes to men's health after 60. We tend to think of it as something kids need for strong bones, or something we get from sunlight. But in truth, vitamin D plays a powerful, direct role in male performance. It's the switch that helps your blood vessels open wide and deliver oxygen-rich blood throughout your body, including to the areas that define your masculinity. Without it, circulation slows, energy fades, and intimacy becomes more difficult than it should be. Over 40% of older adults are deficient in vitamin D. I'm talking about good men who exercise, eat well, yet still find themselves asking, "Why don't I feel like myself anymore?" When your vitamin D is low, your body makes less nitric oxide, the very molecule that powers blood flow and sexual performance. It's not just about sex, it's about stamina, mental clarity, and lasting confidence. And the good news? Fixing a deficiency doesn't require complicated steps. Just 15 to 20 minutes of morning sunlight, adding more salmon, tuna, or fortified dairy to your meals. And supplementing with high-quality vitamin D3 can radically improve how your body performs. I've had patients who struggled to even finish a walk around the block, only to regain their energy and reconnect with their partners in ways they hadn't felt in years. This isn't theory, it's pure chemistry, and it's one of the simplest ways to reclaim your strength. But as powerful as vitamin D is, it can only take you so far. Because even if your blood is flowing well, your body still needs the energy to move it, sustain it, and turn it into action. That's where our second vitamin comes in. And if you've ever found yourself feeling tired for no reason, this may be the key to unlocking the energy you've been missing. Let's dive in. Vitamin B12, the energy generator. A few years back, I had a patient named Robert. He was 72, a retired firefighter and proud grandfather. But beneath that strong exterior, he looked worn out. He told me, "Doc, I sleep 8 hours, I eat my meals, but I still feel like I'm dragging through the day. My brain's foggy, my body's tired, and when it's time to be close with my wife, I just don't have it in me." His story stuck with me because it's so common and so often missed. What Robert was describing was a textbook case of vitamin B12 deficiency, something I see again and again in men over 60. This vitamin is essential for energy production. Without it, your body can't properly convert food into usable energy. No matter how well you eat or how much you sleep, if you're low on B12, your system is running on empty. It also plays a key role in making red blood cells, the cells that carry oxygen to your muscles, your brain, and yes, your sexual organs. When those cells are lacking, everything slows down. Your stamina fades, your focus dulls, and you may feel disconnected from the very things that once excited you. And here's the tricky part. As you age, your ability to absorb B12 from food declines. Even if you're eating plenty of meat, eggs, or dairy, it might not be enough. That's why so many older men feel tired, weak, or mentally foggy, even when their basic health numbers look just fine on paper. The solution? Surprisingly simple. Increasing B12 through quality supplements, or in some cases, doctor-administered injections, can dramatically restore mental clarity, physical stamina, and that feeling of being truly awake again. I've seen men go from dozing off in the afternoons to hiking, laughing, and being fully present with their loved ones, all from correcting a deficiency they didn't even know they had. But energy isn't the whole picture. Your body also needs protection. Something to strengthen blood vessels, reduce inflammation, and support the hormones that define masculinity. That's where the third vitamin comes in. It's often called the fertility vitamin, but its benefits reach far beyond reproduction. In fact, without it, your testosterone and circulation may already be slipping. Let's take a closer look. Vitamin E, the fertility defender. I remember speaking with James, a 70-year-old retired pilot, who came to my clinic feeling frustrated and confused. He told me, "Doc, I eat well, I exercise, I'm doing everything right, but lately I feel off. My drive is down, I'm not bouncing back like I used to, and honestly, I just don't feel like a man anymore." That hit me hard. Because James wasn't lazy or careless. He was disciplined, proud, and fully committed to his health. But he was missing something that even most doctors rarely mention: vitamin E. Vitamin E isn't just a fertility aid or a skin supplement. It's a powerhouse when it comes to male health, especially after 60. This vitamin is a natural antioxidant, meaning it helps fight off oxidative stress and inflammation, the silent forces that damage your blood vessels, hormones, and reproductive organs as you age. When inflammation builds up, blood flow weakens, testosterone dips, and energy starts to crash. It's not instant, but it is constant. And without realizing it, men like James begin to lose their edge. What makes vitamin E so important is its ability to keep your blood vessels flexible and your circulation strong. Erections aren't just about arousal, they depend on blood flow, and when blood can't reach where it needs to go, performance suffers. But that's not all. Vitamin E also helps your body produce testosterone more efficiently. And after 60, that becomes more critical than ever. Low testosterone doesn't just affect the bedroom, it impacts your mood, your motivation, and even your sense of purpose. The good news? Restoring vitamin E is easy and natural. Almonds, sunflower seeds, olive oil, and leafy greens like spinach or Swiss chard are all excellent sources. Or, if needed, a high-quality natural vitamin E supplement can help fill in any gaps. I've had men like James return months later with a big smile, feeling sharper, stronger, and more connected to life again. Now you might be wondering, What happens when you combine these three vitamins? Do they work together to amplify the results? The answer is absolutely. In fact, when used correctly, these nutrients can create a ripple effect that transforms not just your energy or erections, but your entire experience of aging. Let's explore how. Why these three vitamins work better together. Years ago, I had a patient named Walter. He was 68, a retired high school coach who had always taken pride in staying active and sharp. He'd been taking vitamin D for a while, then added B12 after noticing fatigue, and later included vitamin E once I explained its role in testosterone. But it wasn't until he started taking all three consistently and in the right amounts that something clicked. I still remember him walking into my office one afternoon, grinning ear to ear, saying, "Doc, I don't know what you did, but I feel like I've got a new engine." That's the power of synergy. These vitamins don't just work independently, they support and amplify each other. Vitamin D improves circulation by boosting nitric oxide. Vitamin B12 increases red blood cell production, helping oxygen travel through that improved circulation. And vitamin E protects and nourishes the blood vessels that carry it all, while also helping regulate the testosterone that fuels your energy and drive. On their own, they each play a role. But together, they create what I call the vitality triangle: circulation, energy, and hormonal support, all working in harmony. This becomes even more important as you age, because your body doesn't bounce back the way it used to. Nutrient absorption slows down, inflammation builds, recovery takes longer, and sometimes one missing piece can throw everything off. But when you bring these three vitamins together, and in balance, your body starts to remember how it used to feel. You may find yourself waking up more rested, thinking more clearly, responding faster when it matters, not just physically, but emotionally too. A sense of confidence returns, and that's something no prescription can manufacture. Walter wasn't an exception. I've seen this same transformation in countless men, those who take these nutrients seriously and build them into their daily routine. But here's the catch. Most men never experience these benefits. Why? Because they're unknowingly making a common mistake, one that cancels out the very progress they're trying to make. And if you're not careful, you might be doing it too. Let's talk about what that mistake is and how to fix it. The number one mistake most men make. One morning, a man named Gerald walked into my office, carrying a plastic grocery bag full of supplements. He was 74, thoughtful, well-read, clearly doing his best to take charge of his health. He spread out the bottles on my desk and said, "Doc, I've been taking all of these for months, but I still feel tired, foggy, and honestly, nothing's improving down there." I could hear the disappointment in his voice, and I've heard it far too many times before. The biggest mistake men make, especially after 60, is assuming that just taking supplements is enough. They buy cheap, synthetic versions from discount stores or online, thinking all vitamins are the same. But they're not. The form, quality, and dosage of a vitamin determine whether your body can actually absorb and use it, or simply flush it away. Take vitamin B12, for example. Most generic brands use a form called cyanocobalamin, which many older men can't properly convert. What you want instead is methylcobalamin, the active form your body can actually use. The same applies to vitamin D. D2 is cheaper, but far less effective than D3. And with vitamin E, many synthetic forms lack the full spectrum your body needs to support testosterone and circulation. Another common mistake? Inconsistency. Taking a vitamin once or twice a week, when you remember, isn't going to create lasting change. Your body thrives on rhythm. It needs steady support to rebuild energy, restore blood flow, and balance hormones. This is about creating a daily foundation, not chasing a quick fix. When Gerald made the switch to higher quality forms and began taking them consistently, The difference was dramatic. Within a month, he told me he was sleeping better, waking up more energized, and in his words, feeling like a man again. That change didn't come from trying harder, it came from doing it right. Now that you know what works and what to avoid, the next step is putting it all together. You might be wondering, how do I actually make this part of my day without it becoming complicated? That's exactly what we'll cover next. A simple, realistic routine that any man can follow to support energy, performance, and vitality every single day. Let's build your plan. Your daily vitality routine. When I work with older men, one of the first questions they ask me, often with a mix of hope and hesitation, is, "Doc, just tell me what to do each day. I don't need complicated, I just need something that works." That's a question I respect deeply, because at this stage of life, most men aren't looking for fads or gimmicks. They want consistency. They want simplicity. They want a plan that helps them feel strong again. So let me tell you about Frank, a 66-year-old former carpenter who came to me after months of struggling with low energy, poor sleep, and fading confidence in the bedroom. We didn't overhaul his life. Instead, we built a simple, powerful routine around the vitamins we've been discussing, and it changed everything. Each morning, Frank would start his day with a full glass of water and his B12 supplement, taken with a protein-rich breakfast. After breakfast, he'd take a short walk outside, just 15 minutes in the sunlight, to help stimulate his body's natural vitamin D production. If it was cloudy, or during the winter months, he'd take a high-quality vitamin D3 supplement with his first meal. A handful of almonds or sunflower seeds provided his vitamin E, along with a drizzle of olive oil over his lunchtime salad. And that was it. No extremes, just small, deliberate choices. Within weeks, Frank reported having more energy to play with his grandkids, more interest in being close with his wife, and a sense of confidence that had quietly slipped away over the years. He felt like himself again. Not a younger version, but a stronger, more grounded version of the man he already was. The truth is, you don't need a dozen pills or complicated routines. What you need is a steady rhythm, the right nutrients in the right forms, and a mindset that says, "I'm still in control of my health," because you are. Now, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final message. Something every man over 60 needs to hear, but rarely does. If you've ever wondered whether it's too late to feel strong, desired, and fully alive again, the answer may surprise you. Let's talk about that. Conclusion. If you've made it this far, I want to take a moment to speak to you, not as a doctor, but as a man who has spent over 30 years sitting across from men just like you. Men who've lived full lives, men who've worked hard, raised families, built legacies, men who now find themselves asking, why doesn't my body feel like it used to? That question is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign that you are still fighting, still searching for the strength, energy, and connection that make life feel meaningful. And that's something I deeply respect. We've talked about 3 essential vitamins. Vitamin D, the circulation spark plug that helps open your blood vessels and restore blood flow where it matters most. Vitamin B12, the energy generator that fuels your brain, muscles, and stamina. And vitamin E, the fertility defender that protects your heart, supports testosterone, and keeps your system running the way it should. But here's the truth. The real power doesn't come from knowing their names. It comes from building them into your life. Because these nutrients don't just support your body, they support your identity, your confidence, your presence in your relationship, your ability to wake up and feel like yourself again. I've seen it happen too many times to ever doubt it. I've watched men, convinced that their best years were behind them, rediscover a second wind that changed everything. So, what now? That part is up to you. You can take what you've heard today and let it sit on a shelf. Or You can choose to act. You can decide to give your body what it's been quietly asking for. You can choose to take that morning walk. Take that supplement with intention. Say yes to your health and to your future. Because here's what I know. Without question, it is not too late. Not even close. You still have time to feel stronger. You still have time to reconnect. And you still have time to be the man you know you are, fully, boldly, and without apology. You've already taken the first step, simply by showing up here. Now it's time to take the next one. If this video spoke to you, helped you, or gave you something to think about, don't keep it to yourself. Go ahead and hit that like button, so we know this content is making a difference. Share it with a friend, a brother, or anyone you care about who needs to hear this message. And if you've got a moment, leave a comment below. Let me know what resonated with you most. Or tell me what topic you'd like me to cover next. Your voice helps shape this space. You're not just watching, you're becoming part of a movement. And I'm honored to have you here. Now, take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.